Iran is showing signs it may be willing to compromise over its refusal to discuss its nuclear program. Tehran has agreed to hold talks with 6 other world powers in October. Meanwhile, speculation is mounting that Israel could be preparing an assault, as Paul Asleer reports.
For a while, this was the #1 hit in Israel, a song about the dangers of nuclear war. The words indirectly refer to Iran and its hardline leader, President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. But the lyrics and dance moves only hide the fear and uncertainty many Israelis feel about an increasingly nuclear enemy. For years, Emily Landau has been warning that this reality is not far off.
It's very clear, according to the reports, that they have enough now for one nuclear bomb if they enrich it to the higher levels. They'll probably have enough for a second nuclear device by the beginning of 2010 and for a few more by the beginning of 2011.
Like most Israelis, Shmuel Gordon believes the time for talking has run out. A former pilot who spent 40 years fighting in the Israeli army, he's dedicated his life to warning politicians that the biggest fight of their life might be just around the corner.
The choices of achieving something positive, negotiating with Iran, is close to zero. Maybe we should continue in such negotiation for half a year, few months, no more than that. Afterwards, the United States and the Soviet Union, they are great powers. They should take the initiative and, how to say that politely, destroy the Iranian project to build and produce nuclear weapons.
And Israeli leaders agree with him. They say Iran is a regional threat that should be dealt with by the international community. But on the streets, there's a growing chorus of voices who believe the Jewish state should take the initiative. The question of a nuclear Iran has been on the international agenda for 7 years. And, complain most people here, nothing has so far been done to counter the threat. But, warn international experts, if Israel takes the lead, the consequences will be disastrous.
It would unite Shia and Sunni against the United States and the West. It would lead to Iranian support for the Taliban in Afghanistan and lead to the very rapid loss of that war by the West. It would encourage radicalization and terrorism in many parts of the Muslim world. I can hardly imagine one single act which would be worse for relations between Islam and the West, or for the West's position in the Muslim world.
The International Atomic Energy Agency is meeting this week to take a hard look at Iran's nuclear program. But Tehran continues to insist its activities are peaceful, bringing the discussion full circle.
The US has made false statements before about Iraq and other countries. That's why I think these talks will not solve the Iran nuclear profile issue, because both sides talk different languages and their dialogue falls on deaf ears.
Iran says it's ready to discuss global nuclear disarmament, but not its own nuclear activity. It's not enough to satisfy the Americans or the Israelis, which is why these lyrics, "Push the button," might be a forecast of what's to come. Paul Asleer,